You or Jayla?
They wanna know.
Hey. 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 I want to be famous.
Welcome to Who Weekly, the podcast where you'll learn everything you need to know about the celebrities you don't. I'm Bobby Finger.
I'm Lindsay Weber.
And the wedding of the century finally happened. Finally.
What's up, people? I'm Tarek El Musa.
And I'm Heather Ray Young.
And welcome to our beach house.
Come on in.
And we didn't go. We weren't invited.
Yeah, I think our invite got lost.
Unfortunately, I was not able to take photos of the sign. He finally flipped her last name at the wedding of Tarek El Musa and Heather Ray Young. How many people do you think guessed that when I said the wedding of the century? Well, it's our listeners. They
Honestly, I feel like everybody was like, was it Tarek? Did Tarek finally do Did he finally flip her last name?
What's so
he flipped
sick?
her last name was like
What's
the
so
saying.
sick? What's so sick is how quickly my neurons responded to this. When you sent me this at night. I saw it this morning. So I open my phone and I see this text from you that's just this screenshot. And I mean, it took a fraction of a millisecond for me to see he finally flipped her last name and instantly knowing what was going on and like holding and barf in my bed. Disgusting.
He flipped her last name. He finally flipped her last name.
So awful. Why is that so repulsive to me? Like, so many things that happen, like so many of those like very traditional things that happen at weddings are like groan worthy, I guess. But like something about this is so gross. Like everything about it is explicitly referring to her as property because that is your job.
That's like the pun, right? I mean, if you want to break down, he flipped her last name. There are just like so many problems there, right? It's so fucked up.
He's like, it's demo day. It's just like everything about using house flipping, house construction language and weddings is like
not cute.
It's not romantic. That's
we
it.
have so many
It's not
weddings
cute.
today too in this episode, and it's funny because like this one is truly the kind of most Who Weekly one, the whoiest one, and yet and in true Who Weekly fashion, it is the most ostentatious, most disgusting, and 100% filmed for a TV show. I mean, literally, that's the reason. That's the reveal where it says the wedding. So you're like, oh, it's probably being filmed for Selling Sunset. Like that's the show that she's on, and it's like, no, sweetie, no. It's actually being filmed for one of his shows, which is a spinoff on Discovery Plus called The Big I Do. So the real question is, was Selling Sunset filming? Were they not allowed to film? Were they both filming? Are they going to use the same footage? Like
there is
insane.
No way Selling Sunset cameras were not here. There were dueling camera crews at this wedding.
Think so.
I just refuse to believe
I
that
don't
Selling
know.
Sunset, which has shown not one but two weddings in its
Right.
short lifespan,
But-
would say no to this. Heather talks about him all the time on
But
the
Tarek
show.
has never been on the show.
This is his big reveal. They love a big reveal. I think they're going to make it happen.
He is not a character on that show. So it would not surprise me if they said, oh, well, because he's not a character, we're going to keep this separate. We're going to do our own spinoff. We're making more
All
money
the
off
other
Discovery
characters
Plus.
are there. Literally every other character but
Bobby, I'm just saying it's money.
Esdras.
They can do whatever they want. You're saying you're acting like it's some, the Selling Sunset universe wouldn't let it. And I'm telling you, it would. They would let it happen.
I don't want to know what happens when you say no to Jason and Grayson, okay? Because the biggest question, another thing we disagree on, is that you think that Christine Quinn straight up wasn't there. I think that she was there and is not photographed.
I'm 99% sure she wasn't there. I saw stories of her being elsewhere doing other things during this event where everybody else who was there was posting stories from this event. Christine did not post one. The only reason that she would be there is if they were filming for Selling Sunset and she had to be there
And it was
to
work.
not be not included. I think she wasn't there. I think if they include this on the show, her not being there would be part of that. And that's why I think she 100% wasn't there. And also, she's been recently complaining about being left out of things to the point where fans were like, are you no longer on the show? And she's like, no, these bitches just hate me, which means Christine is doing her job, okay?
But I think that the video that you're talking about, which is this tweet, Got cut off, and I'm so tired of addressing this. I'm in every single episode of season 4 and 5 of Selling Sunset. The girls intentionally leave me out of photos. I have real work to do besides sit on my phone and prove 24/7 that I'm filming a TV show. Y'all going to see me. And it's a video that she takes inside the Oppenheim Group offices, filming the other girlies, not including her in a photo shoot. So I am willing to believe that she's going out of her way to seem not included. You know? Like, I don't know that Heather is that petty, you know? But I'm willing to be proven wrong.
She literally was posting content. She literally was posting content from somewhere else that wasn't this at this time.
Because
no.
I understand every single thing you're saying, but my argument is that this is all part of her plan. She wants you to think that she wasn't there. Like, she's overblowing everything because she's good at this. This is her job.
I think she just was not at this wedding. She also was not at any other events that recently have happened where they've all hung out.
She did tweet, Lindsay, I'm surrounded by a bunch of Benedict Arnolds. Maybe she meant she was surrounded by a bunch of Benedict Arnolds at the wedding.
I think she means in general.
In general.
Wait, so if they're all Benedict Arnolds, who is she?
Well, hold on. Let me Wikipedia Benedict Arnold to refresh myself on.
Oh no, he's the traitor.
No, I know he's the traitor, but like who was like another general who she would say.
No, but maybe is she the Union Army? Like, what is she? Is she George Washington? Like, who is she?
I'm surrounded by a bunch of Benedict Arnolds. Yeah, she's George Washington. Exactly, she's George Washington.
Okay.
Which is what I've been saying, Lindsay.
You're saying she's George Washington?
She's George Washington.
Interesting.
Hi,
Heather. Hey, Chriselle. How are you? You look so good.
Hi.
Were you wedding dress shopping for yourself?
I'm helping Heather.
You're helping?
She did find a dress for my wedding.
Yeah, for your wedding. When is your wedding?
I can't tell you.
Really? Where is it?
I can't tell you.
No? Who on the cast is coming?
I can't tell you.
No.
I was telling her, we'll see who I'm talking to at that point.
Oh.
She's coming for sure.
Speaking of reality TV, Lala Kent dumps Randall Emmett 3 years after engagement. They were never married. They were just engaged for a very long time.
Fofty got the chop. Got the potential chop.
And apparently it happened. This is the first of 2 Demois mentions in this show. But apparently this happened because someone spotted him in Nashville with 2 other women. And this somehow got back to Lala. Or maybe she knew about this to begin with and they were already broken up. It's unclear, like, actually the order of all of these events.
Because we've talked about him before, like, it means that he has been sketchy for a while now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because this is not the first time we've mentioned Randall Emmett on this podcast. Like, it is not surprising that this is happening because this girl is literally asked every time she does an interview, why are you with this guy? And it's like, she literally was asked about it on October 11th, which was, just a mere weeks ago. Quote, I know my relationship makes absolutely no sense on paper, Kent exclusively told us on October 11th during Travel and Give's 4th annual fundraiser hosted by Mauna Kea at Tom Tom in West Hollywood. If you could decipher any of that, I'd love to hear it.
She doesn't continue that sentence. I know that my relationship makes absolutely no sense on paper. End of thought, end of discussion. There's no qualifier there. That's it. She also told Maria Menounos on her podcast, Better Together with Maria Menounos, quote, well, Randall and I have almost broken up about a dozen times. So, this is definitely a test for people's relationships. She's talking about quarantine. But it's so crazy because, you sit there and you start bickering about these little things and you start overanalyzing everything. And we really have elevated our relationship in such an amazing way. But it's like, you've almost broken up a dozen times?
Right.
This was a year ago, by the way.
Right.
But yeah, she loves talking about how her relationship is constantly strained.
I mean, he's literally a schmoozer. Like, his whole job is being a schmoozer. Like, he's such a schmoozer. And what's funny is now he's like a main character on the show because they had to kick off so many other characters for being fucking assholes, like they got rid of half the cast, and he of course got bumped up to So he's in a lot of the show. So it's even weirder because you're watching the show at the same time. They have like a newborn baby as you're reading this stuff that's like, you know, they're not calling off the engagement yet. And Lala Kent checks out apartment with her mother and baby daughter in Santa Monica as she seems to be moving on following split from fiance, you know?
They're definitely broken up also because this cameo story, because we talked about this during our live shows, but like the cameo story is new and it's sort of like, it's funny because it's saying she's done with Randall, so she needs, I don't know, she needs something to do with her life. She needs to move on. She needs a new source of income.
She
So
still
she
has
joins Cameo.
rules. She still has
But
a job.
the videos that are posted on her Cameo show her left hand and she doesn't have the ring on anymore. And I think that that's good proof.
That's
pretty good proof.
That is the funniest and saddest reveal. It's like, oh, well, she had to like pick up a few shifts at the Cameo factory and she was spotted without her ring.
The Cameo factory is a lucrative business.
Oh, it's
you know?
extraordinary. Just ask like the guy from The Office who's like a millionaire.
The guy from The Office.
If you do a good job, and also Lala is like a perfect Cameo person because she really does have that. People want to be yelled at by her. People want to see her. You know, she's got that personality. She's that type of star. She can be like, not the pasta, whatever. Like she can do her like bit. And $100 I think is a good pricing.
It's a perfect price point.
It's a good price point. I would say
It's perfect price
it's
point
fair.
because I think it'll get her a huge quantity of people. That is like that is a group birthday gift. It's like, oh, I want to go in to get, you know, Jackie Lala Kent cameo for her birthday. Like,
yeah, that'd be so
so many
fun.
people
We'll tell Lala to call her a bitch.
On a scale of 1 to 10 being the most reckless, how bad are Lala's spending habits? 1, 2, Quarren 3.
3. Wow, really?
Oh.
Wow.
If the
Middle
that's
of the
not
road.
bad.
I don't know.
I'm going to be in trouble after this.
If the other person cheated, do you think you could forgive them? Yes or no? 1, 2, Quarren 3.
No.
Okay. Who would have
Bye,
an easier
Felicia.
time?
my favorite wedding though, my favorite wedding of the week, Freida Pinto, formerly Rising, who potentially almost to them because of Slumdog Millionaire, whatever, 15 years ago,
no
but
go.
consistently working actor. Maybe
She's
could
in
eventually
Needle
become
in
a them
Time
again.
Stack, the movie that
Needle
everybody's
in a
talking
Time
about.
Stack.
I don't know if anyone's talking about it. They're talking about the name. They're like, what's with the name? It's the name of a book.
Because it's based on an old book, an old short story. But Needle in a Time Stack is out. Maybe we'll watch it on a plane to one of our tour dates this week. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
But
We're
she
on tour
married-
this week. Anybody coming to our shows in Seattle, LA, or San Francisco? I'll tell you, there are still tickets for San Francisco and Seattle. You can still come.
LA, sorry.
Will you hear us talk about some of this stuff again? I don't know. Maybe it'll be funnier live. It will be funnier live.
No, we're not going to double up on this stuff.
Okay, but you might see some things that I'm referring to in this.
Yeah,
doc.
maybe.
You might see a
But
clip of Vin Diesel's single on Kelly Clarkson.
Freida Pinto reveals she eloped with fiance Corey Tran during lockdown. Quote, "It was perfect." She revealed this on the Kelly Clarkson show, and I'm not from LA. I don't live in LA. So when I read this paragraph, it really took me out. It says, the actress, what is this from People? The actress shared her exciting news on Wednesday's episode of the Kelly Clarkson show, telling host Kelly Clarkson she and Tran eloped at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California, after the singer asked how her wedding was planning. After the singer asked how wedding planning was going. Now, this paragraph is confusing for many reasons. One being, it sort of seems like it's hard to tell whether or not Freida Pinto is saying that she got married at the Honda Center or she told Kelly Clarkson at the Honda Center that she got married. And also it's confusing that people constantly have to refer to Kelly Clarkson as the singer, even when she's doing her hosting job. It's a confusing paragraph. But no, she actually got married at the Honda Center, a big sports venue in Los Angeles that's like painted pink, surrounded in palm trees, because during COVID, that's where like courthouse weddings were happening, so they could happen outdoors with a lot of space. But these photos exist, and they're like Freida Pinto getting married at a ticket booth in a wedding dress,
I love
holding
it.
her ID up to the
Absolutely
glass.
COVID friendly. I mean, if we, from what it's like we have City Hall. And Anaheim has the Honda Center. And you could also like pick up a Honda. My question was, do you have to have a Honda to get married at the Honda Center?
No, because I did see a Prius in the background of Freida Pinto's
Get
photo.
it out of there. Get it
I
out
don't know if it
of
was
here.
her. I don't know if it was her Prius, but there are Hondas there that are branded with what's the hashtag? Hitched at Honda or Hitched at the Honda Center. So you can pose in front of Hondas covered in wedding
Can you
branding.
then
if
buy
you go there.
the Honda? I bet you could buy the Honda and then drive
Oh, I
away
bet
with
you
it,
can
and
get
it
a
would say
discount.
"just married," and they'd put the cans on it for you and be like, "Clink, clink, clink."
Honda's out of their minds if they do not give a discount.
Are you kidding?
to
If you
people
get
who have
married,
gotten
you
married at the Honda Center.
Definitely get a discount at the Honda Center.
Any discount is worth it. So Freida Pinto, we're familiar with her. We talked about her her thing. This guy, Corey Tran, never heard of him before, but he's like
No,
a
I
famous friend.
I kind of love. He's the perfect. I was thinking about this. He's like the perfect guy for her to marry, like because he's this like photographer, right? Who vaguely worked with famous people. Like he did like a hike. He did a video with Blease. Like he did, he's like in the realm. He's like an inventor photographer who's like in the realm of famous people, and he knew via I don't even know what he knew Aaron. What's his face from
Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad. Yeah,
he knew Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, etc. And that's how he met Freida. So like
Aaron Paul set them up.
but it's good because he's like he's like vaguely in the industry, but also not. So it's like a perfect kind of like person. And he's one of those guys who's like, he has 70,000 followers on Instagram because he takes like beautiful photos, and his bio is like traveler, adrenaline junkie. Like I split my time between Austin and LA, just one of those. He does a lot of
He's from
ads.
Dallas, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's basically like the guy that's going to do the work when like I'm thinking of a brand like Patagonia wants to shoot like
Oh my
somebody
God, a photo
hiking
on
up
a
a
mountain.
mountain. Like it's like, oh, get
Yeah.
Corey to go do it. It's okay, fine, great, whatever. You
Well,
pointed this
he's-
out, which was that the best thing about how many followers he has is he has enough followers to get Lego Spawn. He literally has enough followers to do Spawn for Lego, which is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, 69,000 followers, that's a lot of followers. I think,
You have enough followers to do lots of different types of Spawn. I just
Yes.
like that he chose Lego.
and I think that it's easy to get like, distracted by follower counts whenever you follow a lot of famous people, but like 69,000, so you're used to seeing follower counts in the millions, but in the grand scheme of things, those probably are like the top fraction of a percent of Instagram account follow counts. So like you can't sleep on 69,000 followers. It's huge, and he gets Lego Spawn. So
I mean, the
congrats to
funny
Corey
thing
Tran.
about 60,000 followers on Instagram is like the percentage of people that actually see what you end up doing ends up being like 10,000 maybe, but that's still a significant amount of people.
That's still a lot of people.
Right.
Beautiful, and he looks so happy. He looks so thrilled.
God, how
happy
many
for Freida.
followers
Happy for him.
do we need for you to get the Titanic Lego?
Oh my God.
How many? Like a million.
I mean,
We're
he
never
has
gonna get
70. He has 70,000, and he got like, no offense, pretty small Lego builds.
I know, that's
those
what
are
I'm
like
saying.
$100 Lego bills, maybe
You-
$70 Lego builds.
You want an $800
Titanic's an $1,000
Titanic.
$1,000 Lego build. So I'm gonna need what?
I know.
Times 10. I'm gonna need 700,000 followers to get the free Titanic Lego
700
build.
million. You fucking idiot.
Lego, give me a number and I will reach it. I will reach it if you give me the number. It'll give me something to work towards. So, the last thing about Freida Pinto and what's his name? I already forgot his name. Corey Tran. He's so sweetie, and like the photos that he posted of his dad and his grandma, it's like, oh, he's a big softie. I get it. Okay, but anyway, Freida Pinto's house. Freida Pinto's friends with Bobby Burke, and Bobby Burke designed her house redesign. Did her house redesign, and they got an Architectural Digest spread. It's web exclusive, which is hooey, by the way. No offense, but web exclusive home tour on Architectural Digest is hooey. It's an LA bungalow.
She didn't make the printed version.
And I actually kind of thought this was funny. The fact that
No, it's funny.
they're friends, and Bobby Burke was like, I don't do this typically. I have like a policy where I don't work with friends, but their workaround is so funny. They're like, I will work with you if you give me like carte blanche, basically. You give me free reign, and also we hire a middleman so that if you have little complaints, you don't come to me. You go to the middleman.
Well, also
And I'm
the other
like,
thing about
"That's
this is
fair."
like, why do I need to know this? Like, why is this information for me? We're getting like
Yeah.
paragraphs of this. Like, well, he said he wouldn't work with us. And then we were like, please work with us. And he was like, okay, I'll only work with you, but I rarely work with friends. Okay, here's how we're going to do it. It's like, okay, what? How does this apply to me? This is like the least relatable thing ever. He's not going to work with me like this or anyone I know. Cool.
Well, it's especially oh God, what am I trying to say? It loses relatability because working with a friend, you don't even get the friend discount because you have to hire more people to buffer you and the friend, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just very funny. Anyway, congrats to them. On a less enjoyable note, John Mulaney and Olivia Munn are rumored to have broken up, and the rumor came from Demois and was confirmed by a sweaty guy
man
on TikTok.
Love
a sweaty
this,
ill man.
Love this
excuse me.
because I don't follow Demois, so what I see is only the good stuff that people like send me or gets to me, which I really like because it's a filter. We get a
You
filter.
have the buffer. You have the
It's a
buffer.
nice little buffer, and I'm not consuming all of the things from them that are just like these random things. The stuff that I get is truly either like this might actually be a thing. It's worth discussing. It's worth looking at. It's worth thinking about. This one, you know, we've all felt like this relationship was doomed, but I did feel like it was a little bit quick on the draw for the kind of like we're done already. It's such a fake blind, you know. There's no this
Blind items are more
B-C-list
elegantly
celebrity.
written than this.
Right. A-list comedian, B-C list celebrity, okay, whatever. When the rumor got actually out, when it started to spread, it only spread. This shows the difference between Instagram and TikTok and Twitter or whatever. It only spread because some guy on TikTok posted it and said, I hope you're hearing this from me first. They have broken up. And then literally all the tweets were just, sweaty man on TikTok just told me that John Mulaney and Olivia Munn broke up. It's true. John Mulaney and Olivia Munn broke up. It's very credible source as a sick, sweaty man. Listen, if you can't trust a sweaty, visibly ill TikTok man in a parking lot in a tent of some sort for John Mulaney and Olivia Munn gossip, who can you trust? Then me calling an ambulance for the extremely sick and sweaty man on TikTok that told everyone that John Mulaney and Olivia Munn broke up. And the best part is when you play the TikTok, it lives up to its...
I was like, it's rude to call someone ill. And a lot of these people are like, why is an ill, sweaty man telling me that John Mulaney and Olivia Munn broke up? But he begins the TikTok with, sorry, I'm sweaty. I'm also really sick.
I'm sorry I'm sweaty. I'm very sick. I just wanted to take a break from being sick to say that it's very objectively funny that John Mulaney and Olivia Munn just broke up, and I hope I'm the one to break that news to you.
He's like, I'm sweaty
he's
and
so
sick.
sweaty.
He's
so
very sweaty. He posted an update that was like, I'm no longer sweaty, and here's where I got my information. Also, you think when you're going to this TikTok that there's going to be some reveal of a source that's a good source. Oh, the sweaty, this, as somebody called
it's
him,
all
this
delivery.
This clammy oracle is going to reveal his sourcing, and it's going to all make sense. There's nothing. We got nothing.
Mm-hmm. But I just hate this. Like, I'm looking at this quoting Daily Dot. He also explains there's an update. He posted an update that's sort of like huge air quotes confirmed what he said, but he confirmed it in vague terms that could easily be lies. So he
I don't
says
trust the sweaty man anymore.
He also explains
First of all,
that he
I only
discovered
trusted
news.
him when he was peak sweaty and sick. Now that he's better, no, thank you.
But listen to this. He explains that he discovered news that was put on Demois, then claimed to confirm it with a couple of friends who work in the industry. All of these things are bullshit. We need to work on like our media scrutiny.
We do. But there is something came out yesterday that does kind of confirm it to me, which is
right.
like,
No, I'm happy to take this as confirmation. I'm saying a sweaty man and Demois I don't believe, but Us Magazine's anonymous source I do believe.
So, that's what I love about this was their PR is so bad that they saw this not credible rumor that was not verified by anyone and is not believable except for by people on Twitter laughing about the fact that it was delivered by a sweaty man, right?
Sweaty man. Mm-hmm.
They said, we must speak back. We must say something, right? Okay? And
Sure.
And they said to Us Weekly, they're still together, but they face uncertainty. Quote, it's an imperfect relationship. I'm sorry. What does that do for you? You're basically just saying, yes, this is true. It's very weird. Like, let me read you this. Like, I gotta say, like, I've not seen anything like this, maybe ever or in a long time. This kind of weird, vague, non-confirmation.
The full source quote is dark.
Who is this? Okay, I'll just read you the first two or a few paragraphs. An unknown future. John Mulaney and Olivia Munn are expecting their first child together amid a whirlwind romance, but an insider tells Us Weekly that their relationship faces, quote, much uncertainty. Mulaney, 39, announced the newsroom alum's pregnancy in September on Late Night with Seth Meyers, and insiders say the two have been that the two could be great co-parents, but that might be the extent of their future together. Quote, "This has been an imperfect relationship from the start," the source exclusively tells us. The whirlwind relationship has 41-year-old Munn's inner circle concerned this romance might be over as fast as it started. Quote, "Even though Olivia is going to be a wonderful mother and has great support behind her, Olivia's friends just don't see these two being a couple in a year's time," the source
That's
notes.
crazy.
Their loved ones believe the new couple will absolutely, quote, "make great parents" to their little bundle of joy, but, quote, "nobody knows if they're going to do that together or apart." Oh my God. First of all, repetitive, just repeating the same shit. They're great parents, but they're definitely not going to be a couple.
They're good
This
people.
is
They're
just,
good people. They're
this
good
is
people.
confirmation. I mean, this is literally confirmation.
This is confirmation.
I can't
and I know that
imagine them posting this without that, you know?
Yeah, I get that. I just think that it's just like there are worlds of difference between Sweaty Man, who again was extremely entertaining. We love to see the Sweaty Man on our TikTok FYP pages, but it's like, let's not try to say that, and I know none of us are saying this, but like, let's not try to say that these Instagram accounts like Demois are going to ever replace things like Us Weekly. Like, you need, and even though it is tabloid journalism, you need that extra layer of journalistic integrity.
But as much as I don't want to give them credit, they're the ones that pushed this weird talkback. They did.
I know, but they didn't do the work. Us Weekly did the work. Us Weekly talked to the people.
But the thing is
Demois
like
just
Us
posted a
well, Us
screenshot.
Weekly has actual sources. I think
Right.
that's the difference. Like Demois has sources, but they're just people submitting Instagram, messages, which is like whatever. Us Weekly has these quote unquote vetted sources or something. I mean, how vetted they are, we don't know. To me, this reads like a publicist, and that's it. Like this reads like the work of some sort of publicist or someone, not actually somebody who's like a friend. I don't think their friends are talking to the press or whatever. But I guess
just
my
think it's-
point is that as much as I push back on the Demois of it all, the, what do we call it? The a non-plus culture.
A non-plus culture.
Oh no, they didn't
call
call it a non-plus culture.
Yes.
I do think that they are a very funny vehicle for this type of response where they're responding to something that feels like this big flurry, but actually isn't really and would have died down kind of.
Sure.
Right? Like,
Sure.
I don't understand why this article exists, is what I'm saying. I think it's fascinating. And I think it kind of confirms.
And the article exists because of Demois. I understand that there is that relationship there. Like, we needed the Demois reveal to happen for any of the uproar that followed to occur. But, like, I just want to point out that, like, Us Weekly's doing the work. For as much as we make fun of them, they're doing so much more work than Demois, and I'm happy that all these things can coexist in this ecosystem. But like, I don't want to forget who is this? Nicole Massabrook, who wrote the Us Weekly story. It's like, I just don't want her to get forgotten in the in the Demois
Nicole,
coverage.
we are not forgetting you, Nicole.
Nicole, you're doing so much work.
You are as valuable, if not more, to me than Demois. Like, no,
I'm just being stupidly
not.
sensitive.
No, you are. I understand. You're being protective over your Us Weekly and your sourcing and your journalism. I get it. But I'm just saying, like, I do feel like it is notable to point out the push that comes from this Instagram.
It's causing a ripple effect.
It's a ripple effect. You cannot deny it, right? It went from Demois to Sweaty Guy to tweets. Then we have to get a response, right? And the response really does confirm that something is up and these two are like literally donezo or like on the way out,
Yeah.
It can't be great though. Like, I mean, it's if I had any moment of feeling bad about the situation, it's like the entire response to their relationship is negative. Like, there's not been one positive kind of go team, so I can't imagine it's like fun or easy, right? So why even, unless they're like, we're obsessed with each other and we're so excited to have a kid together, which doesn't feel like that, but there's no, it must feel bad is what I'm saying.
It must feel bad. I feel bad.
Okay, it's been an interesting morning. I've been referred to on television news as the sweaty bald man on TikTok.
I also feel bad about Chloe Bailey and Gunna because they're drinking Dasani together.
Well, you're one of many people who saw a photo of them at a basketball game and said nothing except for why is she drinking Dasani? I didn't know the like anti-Dasani sentiment was so powerful.
We talked about this recently because it's inevitably something people comment on during evacuations or like storm weekends when people, buy a lot of water at grocery stores, Dasani's
no more
always left.
Dasani, right?
Well, no, Dasani's the one that's left because
Right.
people don't want to buy it. Like
Right,
even in
yes.
an emergency, people don't want Dasani. And so whenever a photo of Chloe Bailey and Gunna, which in any other instance, had that been a bottle of like Voss, had that just been a plain glass of water, people would have been talking about whether or not, or talking about more loudly whether or not Chloe Bailey and Gunna were hooking up. But the Dasani hatred is so powerful that it overpowers every other conversation that's happening.
Gossip wrote, by now you've probably seen pics of rising superstar Chloe Bailey and Gunna sitting next to each other while drinking Dasani water at Atlanta Hawks home opener in a baffling plot twist that sparked hilarious chaos. Fans flooded
They're
social
right.
media to speculate about their suspected something ship that picked up steam when Gunna shared a clip of Chloe's bootylicious VMAs performance with the caption, "It's the tongue emoji for me." Ugh.
So that was the first time he was like publicly horny for her, and now they're actually doing things publicly together, but we cannot stop focusing on the Dasani bottle. And it's true. Though I will say, she's never actually, at least in the photos that I've seen, she's never actually drinking from the bottle. It's just sort of there as set
Also,
dressing.
they're literally sitting next to each other at like an event. It's almost like if everybody you ever sat next to at like a play or a sporting event or like a recital or like any theater like you had to be rumored with. It's funny because this just happened with Sweetie and Roddy Ricch. They sat next to each other courtside, and she tweeted, "So avoid sitting next to men in public places, otherwise the world assumes y'all are dating." Got it. And it's like, yeah, well, that's clear. I think this thing about sitting courtside, like with your boo, is so kind of this emblematic thing. God, I've said emblematic a lot recently. I do feel I need to lay off that. Anyways, that anytime you sit next to somebody and people are like, oh. The thing that really threw me was that someone tweeted, Chloe and her sister have said that Gunna was their cousin from their dad's side in a live, so I'm not surprised that they're watching a game together. And it's like, that was not verified, or I don't, there was nothing, but it's like, are they related?
In the photos that are published of these two courtside, they're not even talking to each other. There's no leaning. There's no whispering. Chloe's looking straight ahead. She's like, I'm here for the game. I'm here for the sports. So is Gunna.
Okay. And people saw this picture and was like, they're clearly dating because nowadays on social media, if you sit next to someone, that means you're dating. Literally, there are people watching this, and like Meryl said, they're writing the fanfic.
You know what I'm saying?
So
it's very erotic and hairy.
They're on a date, but I mean, look, like if you look at his body language, the date's not going well.
Yeah. He's like, shh. He's like, damn, I left my phone face up. Shit.
Hey friends, I'm Sharon McMahon, host of Here's Where It Gets Interesting. Each week, I speak with authors, experts, and thought leaders on everything from American history and democracy to how to be a better person on the internet. And don't miss my extremely popular docuseries, which educate you on things you never learned in history class. Follow and listen to Here's Where It Gets Interesting on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Moving on, huge news, enormous news. This was a big weekend, not just because it was the start of our tour, but because Skin by Lori Harvey finally launched.
You use this peg at the Brooklyn shows this weekend, when you were like, okay, big news, Skin launch, everybody was like, what? Like the silence was just deafening. It was Silent of the Lambs in there, like it was.
The Silent of the Lamb.
The Silent of the Lamb.
You what?
The Silent of the Lamb.
It was quiet in the club when you said Skin launch event. Then you revealed, oh no, Skin is Lori Harvey's brand. And people said, oh. And then they were like, so?
Because Lori Harvey, nepotism beneficiary who was dating Michael B. Jordan, and who was kind of doing nothing else but
that's the
being
thing
an
is,
influencer and starting a skincare line.
You launch the skincare line when your thing is that you're so beautiful. And I think her main thing is that she's very, very beautiful, right?
Where people go, oh, what do you do for your skin? And she's
God,
like, well, I created
beautiful.
a product specifically for it.
Right. So she's releasing products. And I have to say, I went to go look at them. I didn't touch them or use them. But she's got the standard product lineup as somebody who has a lot of face products. She's got the niacinamide or whatever. She's got the vitamin C. I've never said that word out loud. Niacinamide.
Niacinamide, a fun ingredient that the internet seems to love.
Does she have hyaluronic acid?
She has hyaluronic
acid.
She has the full, She has exactly what you've seen before in many other skincare, but it's in a pretty green bottle, and a lot of it is sold out, so she's doing a good job.
What's behind it? How did all this come out?
Honestly, skincare has been something that I've been obsessed with since I was a little girl. I mean, I literally remember being in my mirror and like smearing Vaseline all over my face because I've like always been just like obsessed with having glowy skin. But I'm also somebody that has like really, really sensitive skin. I have a skin condition called rosacea, which basically it makes your skin like super red. It gets irritated by like any little thing. So I can't use a lot of like harsh products.
Blue bottle.
Oh, they're like
It's
Tiffany
gorgeous.
blue. They're like Tiffany blue.
It's gorgeous. Her mom and dad posted promo
So
photos of it as
so
well.
supportive,
They're so
so
supportive.
supportive.
But she also has, in addition to all these products, Lindsay, she has the most crucial thing when it comes to launching products as a celebrity in this day and age. She has famous friends, because these launch events are filled with people more famous than she is who are putting in some work to get this skincare line sold out online, you know? Like Sweetie's there, Jeannie Mai is there, Normani is there. Like it's
I know.
big
the
events.
press is impressive. The spread of influencers that are, supporting their girl Lori is very impressive. They even, they're getting like gorgeous photos of these beautiful people at this event. It's like, yeah, of course it's gonna sell some bottles of vitamin C or whatever she's doing,
Yeah. It's just funny. I'm trying to remember when she launched this, because she was talking about this. I think she did a Vogue video and she was like, oh, I am helping Michael with his skincare and I have some products for that. Remember that?
It was a Vogue, like what's on your skin.
What's on your skin or something.
Yeah.
And she
Beauty
has
regimen video.
She uses her own products in the video, and they're not, the packaging isn't there, so they're just like kind of plain white bottles because it's like her formulations that had yet to be branded.
She worked with dermatologists and chemists and estheticians for 3 years.
For 3 years.
To create a 5-step system, and guess what? It's sold the fuck out. Don't even try. Don't even try. Speaking of Lori's, here's another one.
This tree is so beautiful. Being here has got me thinking of me and my sister. I don't know what would have happened without you.
Oh, Cody. Nothing has made me happier than being your mom.
You mean it?
With all my heart.
Because this is hardly anything, but Lori Loughlin is back on TV as expected. She's on the spin-off. Oh my God. She was on When Calls the Heart. Remember the period show on whatever? There's a spin-off called When Hope Calls.
Kicking her off When Calls the Heart was probably a very short-sighted decision, considering she's back on the spin-off. It didn't matter. I wonder how many complaints they got, and if it was that overwhelming, because I think they wouldn't have kicked her off, like if it wasn't this like public outcry.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Because I think maybe somebody there probably knew, when she's out of jail, we're gonna probably just bring her back for something else, and no one's gonna give a shit,
Yeah, she was fired, and what was it? It was like, I'm trying to find how she was fully written off. Oh,
she like went away. She was like, bye.
She went back east because her mother got ill. That's how they wrote her off.
They sweetie let's go to her. She just walked into the distance,
But now she's in this Christmas movie that's on GAC Family, which is just driving me crazy. There's a channel called GAC, GAC, Great American Country, and it has shows from The Little Big Town Woman, Kimberly's Simply Southern. There's a show called Farm Kings about a family called The Kings, and they own farms, and so the show is called Farm Kings, and also Celebrity Motorhomes. But anyway, they're getting into the Christmas movie game.
There's a new place where comfort and joy live, all day, every day. Where traditions are passed from generation to generation. Where life's biggest and most precious moments are always cause for celebration.
Hello?
Welcome to Great American Channels. Here, watch what you love with the ones you love. GAC Family. Original movies and stories to warm your heart.
This is why, by the way, the Christmas movie thing is so now intolerable, because it used to be fun when there was like only, there's like 10 on Lifetime and 10 on Hallmark and like a few here and there. Now it's like, I have to fucking go to GAC Family. GAC Family's lineup has Chad Michael Murray, Jessica Lowndes, like
Becca Tobin.
We're getting crossovers. These people have no loyalties. They'll sit on Santa's lap on any channel. You know, at this point, it doesn't matter.
I just have a hard time watching. I've been trying to watch American Crime Story Impeachment, which is an FX show that should exist on Hulu, and I can't find it anywhere. You expect me to find GAC Family? I can barely watch like a Ryan Murphy show, and you think I can watch a Lori Loughlin period holiday
what channel
movie?
is GAC Family? You know, like how do I tune in? You know, what am I turning on?
I'll never figure this out. I'm never going to watch this movie. I'm barely going to be able to watch Princess Switch 3. You know, like it's just not going to happen for GAC Family.
Which, by the way, Princess Switch 3, so mad about that.
Because there are only 3 of them? There should be 4?
Why are there only 3? We're on the third. We are on the third threequel. We're at the threequel. We're at the squeakquel. And you're telling me that
we should add more.
There should be one more Vanessa Hudgens every single time. I feel we've been robbed truly of that.
I think, Lindsay, and I've said this to you, I think that they're going to reveal a 4th one as a twist, like at the end of this movie.
You think so? You think it's really, but you think they're keeping it that secret? Like it's not even in the trailer or mentioned at all?
Yeah. I think they think that 3 is enough. And I think in many ways it is. 3 is enough.
3 is
but
not
then the
enough.
Twist, everything needs a twist.
I know, but 3 is not enough because the first one had 2, the second one had 3, and now we're on the third one should have 4. I want a new Vanessa Hudgens in every one.
I agree with you, but I just think you can hold out hope. When hope calls, Lindsay, when hope calls.
When hope calls.
You should answer.
When hope calls.
Stacy?
Yeah.
And that's Margaret.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here we go again.
Oh, God.
Moving on.
Wait, I want to play something for you. Speaking of this,
Oh,
I have
play
to
something. Play something.
Hi guys, it's Olivia Jade, and this is my podcast, Conversations. Now more than ever, obviously, there are a lot of instances where we assume we know people's stories, and I think it's so important to really understand and hear somebody's personal side of things. Also, obviously, I want you guys to get to know me, so there will be a ton of conversations between me and you guys, but I'm just super excited to get personal on this podcast. Listen to Conversations starting October 24th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The gall to call your podcast Conversations in 2021. The gall.
Just Conversations. It's just called Conversations.
The gall.
I have no sense of what the conversations are about. Just that, like, she said, I was canceled and I'm sad about it, and I'm going to talk about what it's like to be canceled without saying that. But you know that's what she's saying.
She said, hey guys, now more than ever, obviously, there. That's what she said. That's the start of it. Hey
Obviously.
guys, now more than ever, obviously, there.
Now more than ever, obviously, there.
It's so...
When I heard that, the iHeartRadio thing is crazy because I think the iHeartRadio podcast family is diverse. It's large. It's unwieldy. You have everything from podcasts that I like and listen to Olivia Jade's Conversations podcast. Therefore, when you turn on just a normal podcast, you can get an ad, which I'm sure no one knows about, the people who make the podcast that I'm hearing it on, and you just get fed this Olivia Jade ad. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, you know?
Yeah,
There
I mean,
she is.
just go to iHeartRadio's podcast
crazy.
lineup, and they're so big. I mean, the thing is, it's just like they're the number one name in it. They have so much money. They're so big, so they simply have everything. They have every type of show, every type of host, and unfortunately, that lineup includes Olivia Jade. Just talking to people, having conversations.
She's just trying to have conversations. I do like that in this promo she says, I'm having conversations, but also it's going to be about me. in case that wasn't clear, I will also be talking about myself in this podcast, so don't worry.
Unless the conversation is with your mother about her time in prison, I do not care. I do not care.
Do you think that Olivia Jade would have been given the platform to like spin off into a podcast if she wasn't part of this scandal? Would she still just be on YouTube toiling away?
I think that's the easiest answer in the world.
dark.
And now
So
that I'm
dark.
talking about this, you know what's really starting to make me nervous?
What?
Who's her first interview going to be, Lindsay? Her fucking mom.
I have a reveal. It's me.
No, her first interview is going to be with her fucking mom to get press for the show.
It's me.
It's going to be so annoying.
It's me.
Hi, guys. It's Olivia Jade, and this is my podcast, Conversations. Now more than ever, obviously,
things that don't make me mad, things that actually fill me with delight. This is technically a breakup story, but really it's a new relationship story, and it contains one of my favorite narratives, which is someone who's previously only been in like heterosexual relationships realizing that they prefer and enjoy same-sex relationships. So Polo G, who's a rapper, he actually recently just recorded a single with Burna Boy that's gotten a lot of attention. I'm sure you'll play a clip here.
I got every Louis V collection from Virgil. I'm a life of fashion show, no rehearsal. DR from Kim Jones, Bottega from Daniel. 100K my ring, so I'm not shaking no hands.
In my stomach, butterfly. Ain't been sane since my brothers died. We woke up like fucking never put a hoe above the guys. I had dug deep into your heart and I discovered lies.
I had been dating this woman, Blease, who's an Instagram influencer, YouTuber, has a lot of followers on YouTube, actually, more than most people. She has over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Blease, she recently tweeted this. I was sitting there putting up with infidelity, and my soulmate was a fucking girl. I knew it. I love it because there are two reveals in this tweet. One of them is that Polo G was cheating on her, or allegedly Polo G was cheating on her.
Did you not
It
reveal
seems
her
that
name
that's
is
what she's talking
Crystal
about.
Blease?
Blease, yeah, amazing name.
She has an incredible name, Crystal Blease. It's so good.
It's very good, and
Crystal Blease.
it's one of the many things that must have attracted this new woman in her life to her, because her soulmate is a fucking girl, to quote her again. And that means that you get headlines like this: Polo G's baby mama dumps him for a woman. I just love when this happens.
Yeah, but there is something a little fucked up about the like haha of that all, because it implies that it's like shameful or something for anyone involved in that, when it's just like, it's just funny. Like he's treating her like shit, and no matter who she got with next, it's good for her, and he sucks. But the like extra spin of it all, I guess, is kind of like satisfying, you know.
I just love a positive coming out story.
Sure,
like
yes,
here she
that's
is being
true,
like,
that's
oh, I'm discovering more about myself, and I'm happier than I've ever been. I love it. A random hater responded to her and said, you've been fucking around for 10 minutes, as in like,
you're new.
Oh, you're saying this is your soulmate,
new.
you're brand new? And Crystal responded, actually, since July. Throbbing heart emoji. So there's the reveal. They've been seeing each other since July. She also is prepping for a BBL with Dr. Solace, according to her
One week
YouTube
ago, she
channel.
was prepping for a BBL. Oh my God. Her life is like going to change. She's gay. She's getting a BBL. What more could you possibly want?
Today, I am about to start prepping for my surgery, and I will be getting a BBL. So I know a lot of y'all be like, where your fat at? Where your fat at? You don't have no fat. I actually do have a quite decent amount of fat, but for the results I'm going for, I actually want to gain some more pounds. So it's time to start eating.
And her girlfriend, her name is Jasmine Hood. This must be her on YouTube, and she's extremely popular on YouTube. She has over 3 million subscribers. So now it's just like they've become an influencer family, and they found each other, and that's very cool.
What is up to my gang? What is up to my squad, bruh? Your girl Jazz clocking in, back with another banger.
So you could call that gay rights.
Yes, that's definitely gay rights.
And so what about something we need a gay wrongs?
Oh, gay wrongs. JoJo Siwa and Kylie Prue called it quits because of...
This is so sad. This is actually sad for me. I'm sad.
I don't want to blame Jenna Johnson, who is JoJo Siwa's Dancing with the Stars partner, but it seems like it was just a case of like, JoJo's been so busy with this. JoJo's whole life has kind of changed because of Dancing with the Stars.
I think it's that JoJo is so busy. Like, JoJo is so busy. And I think and here's the thing, when they got together, they did a huge like press rollout of their relationship. They spent a lot of time together. They were newly in love. They were talking about their relationship all the time and how exciting it was. And then JoJo got back to work, like as JoJo want to do, you know? JoJo has a lot of things on her plate, and I think she didn't have enough time. It's hard. Maybe Kylie did not want to be a stage girlfriend, right? She's just like following JoJo around as she dances the bachata with Jenna Johnson, you know? I don't know if they do the
Yeah.
bachata. I know they do the cha-cha. The news of them breaking up was like rumored, and then it was confirmed by various sources around the 20th, which was a few days ago. And it says, Kylie stopped attending the show, so she hasn't been seen in the audience since they split. JoJo is focusing on the competition and giving her all. While it's a rough time for her, she's handling Dancing with the Stars very professionally and still putting on a smile, giving 100%. She doesn't want to let down her fans. Oh my God, it's kind of sad.
I mean, JoJo really is all about her fans.
I know.
That's very clear. I'm sure this is devastating to her. But
I'm sure Jenna is like being very helpful. I mean, don't forget, Jenna is married to Val, the other dancer who's dancing with, guess who? Olivia Jade. It all goes back to fucking Olivia Jade. And it was funny because there were rumors that they were hooking up, and Olivia Jade like took to TikTok
Olivia
and was
and
like,
Val.
we're not, okay, sorry. There were rumors that Olivia and Val were hooking up also, which is funny because they have like zero chemistry, that Olivia went to TikTok and was like, we are not hooking up, which obviously made it more like, oh, you are hooking up. But the real, but then the real rumors were like that, oh, JoJo and Jenna have a lot of chemistry actually, like versus Val and Olivia Jade, who I think are on their way out of this competition. But you know, that's just my opinion.
We know they're out of the competition because no one can compete with Melora.
Melora Hardin she's on fire. Moving on, speaking of breakups and get-togethers, you have Shanna Moakler reporting on Shanna Moakler. Shanna Moakler has not commented about the Travis and Courtney thing, and she cannot say it enough times that she has not commented, to the point where I think should be considered comments, you know?
These are comments at this point. Whenever you fill an Instagram create story with words, you can't just call that not a comment. That's a comment. That's a comment.
That's a
She
comment.
says, PSA, I haven't made a comment on anything going on in the world, period. So TY to all my newfound psychologists, family therapists, spiritual counselors, momsters, and desperate housewives, your unsolicited opinions from trash sites have been noted. Whatever would I do without your fortune cookie wisdom? Like, this sort of vitriolic response to people claiming you have commented about something still reads as a comment. It still reads like you are angry about something, you know? Like, it still reads like you are unhappy. Like, there's no other way to interpret it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, am I being stubborn? That's a comment. Isn't
I'm just
it?
saying, it's just funny because it's like, I haven't made a comment, like I haven't said anything, and it's like all you're doing is saying things. I constantly am reading you saying things, right?
Yeah.
PSA, I haven't made a comment on anything going on in the world. Anything? Okay. So thank you, et cetera, et
She's
cetera,
talking
et cetera.
about Travis's engagement. She's talking about Travis's
We know you're not like, you don't need to make the comment then, I guess, because we get it, or whatever. No, this probably sucks for her so bad. Like,
It's probably terrible.
it's probably awful. Like, all her comments are people being like, yeah, you know, like, it's so annoying. And she's just trying to be out here.
I just wish that people would learn, specifically celebrities with huge followings, would learn that, like, the only true way to not have a comment is to not comment, you know, is to not say anything. Silence is the only thing that can be construed as not having a comment. Because now, what are we doing now? We're breaking this down. We're trying to analyze all of these words that she posted.
Speaking of the exes that belong to this new relationship or this new engagement, Scott Disick's already been spotted with like an 18-year-old blonde chick, you know, like as of yesterday. It's like Scott Disick hanging
Mystery
out with
woman.
like, no, they revealed her. She's like a,
they revealed her now?
She's a three-named influencer. I forget. It's like Shannon, Elizabeth, something, like Elizabeth, Ashley, something.
Elizabeth Grace Lindley. Lindley? Oh my God, Lindsay with an L instead of an S. They gave her a name. She was Mystery Woman last time I looked.
She
Oh
was
my God.
unidentified blonde influencer. Now she's Elizabeth Grace Lindley.
Lindley, 20 years old. Lindley? Oh my God, Lindley. That's unbelievable.
Doesn't take long. It didn't take him long, you know? I mean, whether or not anything's happening, it's like he wanted that headline. You know, he was like trying to get that headline.
As Daily Mail says, fierce, Lindley's Instagram is full of sexy pictures of herself in swimsuits, lingerie, and skimpy outfits. I am gonna say, though, not to give Lindley the benefit of the doubt.
Stop saying Lindley. You can say her first name.
These photos of Lindley and Scott are the opposite. I mean, they're like Chloe and Gunna. Like,
yeah, he looks like he's like, hey, where'd you park? Or like, hey, like, can I borrow $10 for coat check or something? Like, he literally is being like, hey, what's her name again? Or like,
no,
hey,
Lindley.
how do you
this
know?
conversation, this conversation that I'm texting you, the photo that they're having, where the most intimate these photos get, also these photos are from far away. He's sort of gesturing at her and they're walking side by side, but not touching at all. Not even like, he's saying, Lindsay, Lindley, Lindsay, Lindley, Lindsay, Lindley.
Leslie?
That is the conversation that they've
He's
had.
saying,
That's the
oh, hey,
extent.
how do you know Jared? He's saying stuff like that, you know, like, oh, you do come here often or whatever. She's like, what? And he's like, oh, never mind, you know.
Why is your name Lindley? Lindley. I've never heard this before in my entire life.
Okay. I do think it exists. I have heard it.
Yeah, it's apparently it's a place name. There are a lot of it's definitely I think it's more commonly a surname. It's rarely a first name, but whatever, you know. Name someone whatever you want to name them. Who cares?
Yes,
I've just never heard it.
Name someone whatever you want to name.
Lindley? I'm like, it's now infected my brain. I'm gonna start calling you Lindley.
Don't you dare. You saying name somebody whatever you want to name them is triggering me thinking about what Amanda Knox named her kid.
Oh, what was it? Eureka Macon?
Muse.
Oh, Eureka Muse. Oh.
Eureka Muse. Incredible.
Amanda Knox is sort of a Patreon conversation, but after reading that New York Times story about her over the weekend, I have like new thoughts.
I have new thoughts.
You've influenced me a lot. You've influenced me a lot.
Well, I went from being like...
Don't. Let's just move on. No. We cannot talk about
Eureka
Amanda
Muse.
Knox.
Eureka Muse. Moving on. Eureka Muse. Moving on. Speaking of, no, I think this is a good transition because we were just talking about an unidentified, then identified influencer. Now, across the pond. What do they say for Australia? It's across like the world, but it's like
Down Under. They say Down Under.
Down Under. I've asked this question before. Down Under, we have an influencer who's being roasted for her very emotional Instagram post about mowing the lawn. And she admits to having tears in my eyes and praises her mom for being an inspiration. I love this because this originates obviously from the account Celeb Spell Check, which we've talked about because they were being very funny. Then they were like, we quit. All the Australian influencers were so mad at them. They were like, they're bullying us. And then they were like, okay, we're stopping doing this. But they're kind of shadily back, doing.
They're back.
Yeah.
They're back.
So they posted this influencer who's a model. It's funny because she's a model, but her sister's a more popular model. Like that's how they're both just models, but one is more famous than the other. I guess she bought a house, very cool, in the Gold Coast. Good for you. I hear it's expensive there. And she posted these stories that involved a before and after.
They're like before and afters, yeah.
But it's like one was like the lawn wasn't mowed, and the other one like the lawn was mowed. Like it's not quite clear. It's she mowed the lawn. She mowed the lawn. She mowed the lawn. But what she wrote on the process of the lawn mowing was so. I've had tears through this process, happy tears, because I'm just so proud of myself. It's so easy to be faced with an unknown situation and say, I can't. My advice, and something I'm only learning, is give yourself more credit and challenge yourself to create the results you want in life. In every aspect, it's damn empowering. Shout out to my weapon of a mom for setting the absolute best example of somebody who doesn't give up and continues to defy the odds. This is like me after I changed the water filter on the Brita or whatever.
That's me after sending one email.
Oh my God, when I drop off my packages, I feel like this. I am literally, if I do 1 to 2 errands in one day, I feel like I have had tears throughout this process. I literally say, it's so easy to be faced with an unknown/new situation and say, I can't. But I did it. I emptied the dishwasher and I filled it up again. They said it couldn't be done, and it was done.
So after she posts this long Instagram story where she just, talks about how proud she is of herself, Celeb Spell Check comments 4 words, "You mowed the lawn." And the caption, or excuse me, the headline that Daily Mail went with is, "Influencer is roasted for her very emotional Instagram post about mowing the lawn as she admits to having tears in my eyes and praises her mom for being an inspiration."
When you do go to her Instagram, she has an entire highlight about this lawn and her
house,
backyard
yeah.
and the house and how hard she's worked to do the landscaping on her new house that she bought. And it's hard work, and she did it all herself with her mom and da-da-da. And it's just funny because clearly what she's talking about is a bigger picture thing. I'm proud of myself for getting a house and making it look nice. I would agree that's a hard process. But in terms of the before and after that she posted, right before she posted thank you so much for this great honor, I can't believe I did it. It's literally just her it looks like she just mowed the lawn.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of their Instagram models. They are actual working Australian models, but they remind me of Gigi and Bella in that They're both very similar, but one of them is brunette and one of them is blonde.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of it.
Yeah, no,
Like that's
truly.
the difference. And I don't even know if that hair color is real because also like Gigi and Bella changed their hair color a lot, but like it seems like
Her
they have to
sister-
coordinate. You
Her
know, they
sister's
can't
name
always look
Isabel.
the same.
Isabel Mathers.
Isabel.
Isabel Mathers.
Isabel.
And they both
Yeah.
have these funny defunct YouTube channels where they do like one YouTube every 6 months or something. And it's like Shine Haul. They're always doing like clothing.
Oh my God.
hauls.
I didn't even see this headline you put in here. Want a body like Isabel Mathers, Bella Hadid lookalike
Yes!
model reveals her surprisingly easy workout circuits. Oh, people call her a Bella Hadid
People
lookalike.
literally think she
Oh.
looks like Bella Hadid. Meet the moodiest model at Australian Fashion Week. Bella Hadid
Mm-hmm.
lookalike Isabel Mathers pulls a series of blue steel stairs as she shows off her jaw-dropping figure front row. Like, does she? She doesn't even look like Bella. She just has brown hair.
Exactly. Yeah.
When it's like, if you just play along and realize it's funny that people thought you mowed your lawn and wrote an inspired creed about it, like, that's funny.
Like, this is why the crying laughing emoji exists. Post the celebrity spell check comment, add a crying laughing, and be like,
And move
well, it
the
was a big
fuck
deal to me.
on. Yeah, or just
I
be-
did mow, but it was a big deal to me.
Just be like, weeding is hard. It is hard. Oh
Weeding
my God,
sucks.
it's so hard. Honestly, to be fair,
It's dangerous.
to be fair to her, when I mowed my lawn recently this summer, I mowed it a few times, but when I mowed it that one time, I definitely sent some photos around to friends being like, look what I did. I was very proud of
Yeah, and we
mowing
were
my
like,
lawn.
girl, it looks so good.
I have
Oh
like,
my God, Lindley. Lindley, your lawn looks amazing.
So I really can't be like, LOL at this woman being proud of mowing the lawn, because I would also literally, if I mowed the lawn and took out the trash in one day, I would post on Twitter, happy tears, because I'm just so fucking proud of myself. It's so easy to be faced with an unknown/new situation and say, I can't, you know?
Yeah.
But I did
Yes.
it. I mowed the lawn and took out the trash. They said it couldn't be done, but I did. I did it.
The funniest thing, though, on her gardening Instagram story highlight is the question that was a poll.
Yeah.
Are you wondering how the rest of yesterday's yard day went? And you could answer either yes or no. And 70% of people said yes, and 30% of people said no. No.
Guess what? She posted it anyway.
What was she wearing? Where was she seen? She posted what on Instagram? She's the Who Queen. Tens of people want to know all about the number one Who. Lindsay, Bobby, tell us now. What's Rita Ora up to?
Who is this woman?
Rita has been so many places. Rita has been in LA. Rita has been in Dallas. Rita has been in... Isn't she going back to London like right now?
No, she's in London. She was spotted at a Tesco.
Yeah.
She was
She's
spotted
gone from
at
LA
she was spotted
to Dallas
in a
to
Tesco.
London in like what seems like 72 to 96 hours or something crazy. Like she's globe trotting.
She had a whirlwind trip to LA. She went to Dallas for an Amphar concert that she performed in, and then she was on a plane back to the UK. Crazy. What an amazing homecoming for her. I don't think she's been back to the UK since the last time she was there.
She did
got
the
trouble.
Eternals. She did the Eternals with her boyfriend, who's the Marvel man, Taika Waititi.
I love
She
you.
not
I love
only-
you calling him the Marvel Man. Yep.
Now that's his thing. Well, that's why she was
Of
there.
course,
She
of
gets to go to
course.
this huge event because of her boyfriend.
Yes, of course.
And then, yes, she went to Dallas for the Amphar event, but she also did this weird wellness day with her friends. Obviously, her sister was there. Obviously, Michael was there. But they were like doing yoga in a backyard and Instagramming it.
When I saw the photos from it, I was like, wait a second. I had to go back. I was like, did Rita Ora's sister Elena have a wellness themed birthday party? Like, imagine going to a birthday party and then being like, here, welcome. The food we're serving is grilled vegetables, like clean grilled vegetables, and like matcha drinks that are sponsored, and we're gonna do yoga and like a sound bath. Or I guess now I'm saying it, I'm like, these are real parties that people have, but like, wow,
Yes.
what a theme.
The reason you have a wellness themed birthday party is because the wellness company will pay for the birthday party. It's like,
Well, this
oh,
party had a hashtag oral wellness.
I'll have a free birthday party if it has a sponsor. You know, like, sure, I'll take photos of my friends. And you know, 100%, because it was a photo of Michael participating as well. They each took one photo in action, And then the rest of it, they didn't do any of the activities. They did just enough to get the content.
When I tell you that Elena Ora is the mastermind behind the Rita Ora brand and everything else, I tell you, because her birthday party, which she definitely called in the sponsorships for and got Rita to pose with every single fucking thing that they got for free, the aloe balls, the yoga mats, everything Elena Ora called in.
Ever since that rumor came from the journalists who've spoken to her, said that, I'm like, I can't unsee it. I'm like,
unsee
it. Elena does everything.
Yeah. So then after that event, she went back to the UK and she got this headline, which I love. They must be so happy she's back. It's Rita Flora. Globe-trotting pop star carries a bouquet of flowers as she runs errands at a local supermarket after returning to the UK following a lengthy stay in America. She went to a Tesco Express in North London.
The photos of her she's holding, listen to this. She's so fucking, it's so good. She's holding a bouquet of flowers, nothing extravagant, nothing Jeff Letham, just a normal bouquet of flowers, maybe like a dozen flowers in this thing. And in her left hand, she is holding a box of PG tips and a little carton of milk.
She's like,
she is
literally
so London.
Like, she left her flat.
I'm holding tea and milk and flowers.
She left her $8 million flat. By the way, this article just reminds us how much her house costs. She left her $8 million London flat to get tea and milk so she could have tea, British tea.
I love PG tips. Perfect. We're done. Thank you for listening to another episode of Who Weekly. We never do this. We never, ever do this.
We literally have never done this, but
we're not going to have an episode on Friday because we're traveling too much. We just do not have the time. We're doing a show in Seattle on Wednesday, a show in LA on Thursday, and a show in San Francisco on Friday. And there's, I'm sorry, no time to record, but we will be back next Tuesday. Call in at 619-WHO-THEM. We will bank your calls and use some from both of these weeks.
We will be answering your calls next week. We will just not be having an episode this week, which is crazy.
We're so sorry. It's wild.
Dare I use the word unprecedented?
I dare you, and I think it's worth using. Unprecedented.
Unprecedented. Well,
thank you to Katie and Eric of the Who's for providing our Rita theme song. Thank you to Timmy, our research assistant, for doing so much work. Thank you to all the people who came out to Brooklyn over the past week to see us live. Thank you to everyone who's going to come this weekend and in the weekends in the future. Support us on patreon.com/weekly for bonus episodes and more. Oh my God, what else? Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. I haven't said that in a while. We love your ratings and reviewings, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.
You were Jayla.
Yo, they want to know.
Hey.
Mia.
Hey.
Mia. Come on.
Hey. I want to be famous.